Magandang araw mga kaibigan. Maganda po itong pag-usapan natin ngayon. Ah, May isang political strategist, si Alan Herman. Matagal na ito sa larangan ng politika. Tinanong siya ng isang mainstream media host, si Carmina Constantino, kung nabibinay na ba si VP Sara. Meaning, yung kagaya ng nangyari kay VP Binay noon na napakalakas niya, mamaya bumulusok na at hindi na nakabangon. So, nabibinay na ba si VP Sara? Nako, ang ganda ang paliwanag ng political strategist na ito, si Alan Herman. Sabi niya, malakas pa rin si VP Sara. Hindi siya katulad ni VP Binay noon. Okay? So, pakinggan natin itong interview sa ANC ni Carmina Constantino kay Alan Herman.
We're going to talk about the president in a bit, but first, we've seen this happen before, Alan. We've seen this with the case of then Vice President Jejomar Binay. Do you think that the Vice President, now Vice President Sara Duterte, with her numbers and all that, and what her political opponents have been strategizing around her, do you think that she has reached the point of no return insofar as her numbers are concerned, or as a veteran political strategist, do you think that she can still out-strategize her opponents?
Okay, in fact, there was a term that has entered into the political lexicon as it, they say nabinay. Nabibinay na ba si VP Inday? The major difference there, let's not, and I'll be a little bit bold to say it, the major difference during that time with then Vice President Jojo Binay is that there were alternatives. People had alternative candidates to choose from. And that's why the decline, the steep decline that happened was quickly, there was a vacuum created that was quickly filled by other candidates. In this case, the problem is the apparent lack of a viable candidate from the quote-unquote opposing forces against, if we're consolidating the Duterte brand as a, one amalgamated, consolidated brand, there seems to be no viable charismatic rallying force candidate that can step up and directly challenge her, at least as of now.
Now,
Okay, ang gandang paliwanag. Noong, I think 2010, correct me if I'm wrong nung nagkandidato si Vice President Binay as President, tinira siya ng tinira, bumaba. During that time, maraming mga qualified candidates. Kaya nung bumulusok ang rating ni VP Binay, tapos meron mang ibang alternative choice, ibang mapagpilian. Isa na yon si late President Noynoy Aquino. Nung una, wala naman siyang planong tumakbo. Napilitan lang tumakbo nung namatay ang kanyang nanay. Kaya walang nagawa ang VP Binay noon kasi maraming ibang kandidato pagka-presidente na mapagpilian. Ito ngayon, ibang-iba kay VP Sara. Veteran political strategist itong nagsasabi na walang ibang charismatic, matapang, may paninindigan na kandidato sa opposing side. Martin Romualdez? No way. Sino pa sa administration? Si Senator Rapi Tulfo, pwede lang yun. Kailang wala, tahimik pa siya. Hindi mo alam kung saan kampo siya. Kung minsan, lumalaban sa administration, kung minsan, tahimik. So, ngayon ko lang naintindihan. Kaya, hindi pa nabibinay si VP Sara. pwede pa niyang talunin ang kanyang kalaban sa politika. Yan po ang sinasabi ng veteran political strategist na itong si Alan Herman. Naririnig ko na ito noon pa. Wala siyang masyadong sa kinakampihan sa mga political party. Basta independent-minded ito na nag-a-analyze sa larangan ng politika.
To the president himself. You know where the numbers are from majority. Now he's down to near majority. Is this where the president wants to be at this point?
Absolutely not. I'm sure no president would want to be where his numbers are declining.
Okay, ang pinag-uusapan na ngayon yung ratings ni Pangulong Marcos based dito sa pinaka-latest na survey ng Pulse Asia. Ulitin ko, Pulse Asia, very credible ito na pollster o survey group, matagal na. Hindi katulad yan, Tanjiri, Okta, alayan, ito. Nung inilabas ang result nitong Pulse Asia, na kung saan lahat sila, yung top 5 government officials, bumulusok ang rating. Kaya lang, pinakamataas pa rin si BP Sara, tinalo pa rin niya si PBBM at saka si Speaker Martin Romualdez. Kaya ang rating ng Pangulo ngayon below majority na, below 50 na, 47, 48 na. Sabi nitong political strategist, delikado na yan. Papunta na yan sa lame duck president after midterm election. Kaya nasa delikadong kalagayan ang Pangulo ngayon.
Let me quickly look. At the start of the year, he was at 55. Now he's at 48. So he took a 7% dip over the year, just this year. So depending on which survey firm, of course, you take a look at. I'm basing mine on Pulse on year when the year started and now that the year is ending. So you don't want to be where he is right now in terms of popularity, especially facing a midterm election, where I will use the invented term lame duckery, where the lame duckery is real. After the midterm elections, sitting presidents tend to have that cloud of lame duckery that will be cast over them. Add your falling popularity and trust ratings and satisfactions ratings into the mix, and that will definitely help render any administration political will, might, and influence a little bit less sharp. That some of the teeth will be pulled out.
Yeah. But when you look at the latest survey, Alan, all of the president's candidates in the administration coalition, they're there. They're in that mix. Go ahead.
They are there, but you have to take this again contextually. You have to look at the large picture.
Okay. So, itong host, parang pabor sa administration. Hindi, bumababa ang rating ng Pangulo. Kaya lang, tignan mo yung kanyang senatorial candidates sa latest survey. Pasok. Kaya lang, maganda, magaling ang sagot nitong political strategies. Iba yan, mga political dynasties yan. Hindi mo yan maasahan. May kanya-kanyang agenda yan. Hindi yan tunay na taga-suporta ng administrasyon. Parang ganon ang sagot niya.
Them there are a host of a popular noontime show who self-admittedly does not know what the Senate does. He just wants to help the poor and make them happy. And you have political dynasties galore and old names. So I'm not sure if this is a commentary on how well the administration candidates are doing versus just the strange order of attribute preference of Filipino voters in terms of choosing their national leaders. It boggles the mind.
All right. One thing that also boggles the mind is that, okay, fine, you look at the numbers, this is all about them. We haven't yet talked about the Senate President and the Speaker of the House. We've run out of time regarding that, but when you look at the figures, the stats of the Vice President and the President, this is all about them, right? But I guess the most important question here is, if it's all about them, what's in it for us? Like, what does this mean? Their numbers, what does this mean in terms of, solving the everyday problems of the Filipinos, solving hunger, keeping the prices down, and all the bad stuff, right, that we continue to experience with them at the helm, Alan?
You got it. In fact, that's precisely why their numbers are dropping as a group, as an aggregate, because people are wondering what is going on. Why all this politicking when prices continue to rise, jobs continue, at least the quality of jobs continues to decline.
Okay, so sa latest survey ng Pulse Asia, lahat sila bababa. Ibig sabihin, napuno na ang salop, ang taong bayan, hindi na masaya sa nangyayari sa gobyerno. Yung net satisfaction rating ng gobyerno ngayon, negative. Okay, when it comes to controlling inflation, yung pagtaas ng negative 80% ang lumabas. Ano yan? Negative 80%. Na, para bang 10% lang yung masaya sa ginagawa ng gobyerno pag control sa inflation, 90% ang nagsabing hindi kami masaya. So, 9 out of 10 Filipinos hindi masaya sa ginagawa ng gobyernong ito sa paglaban o pagkontrol sa inflation. So, maliban yan, yung addressing involuntary hunger, fighting graft and corruption, creating more jobs, increasing workers' pay, lahat ito, mga areas of governance na negative ang net satisfaction rating ng gobyernong ito. So, yun ang sinasabi na kawawa ang taong bayan. Kaya, ang rating nilang lahat ay pabulusok ng pabulusok.